me live, breathing in the air of your fire, undefined soul's desire. You don't even know what you did. Now I'm on fire, fire, burning, burning out of control, taking me higher, higher, a feeling I can't hold on my own.
Well, hello and welcome to My Psychic Connection. Yes, it's me, Innerji The Metaphysical Crone, back with another hour of readings and all sorts of interesting things. And this show, I am coming to you from my crystal cave, my beautiful blue crystal cave behind me, because the show theme tonight is all about crystals. Everything crystal. So I'll be talking about crystals as we go through the show. Of course, don't forget, it's the emoji game. Yes, we're playing the emoji game again. So please type in kangaroos. That's my favorite emoji because I live in Australia. So type in heaps and heaps of kangaroos, because the person who types in the most kangaroos will win the emoji game and will win a divination reading from me. So get those fingers going. Start hunting out those kangaroos and typing them in for me. I look forward to seeing them. The other thing we've got happening tonight is our crystal connection game. That's a little bit later in the show. And of course, it wouldn't be me, the Innerji, the Metaphysical Crone, if I didn't have a mystic moment for you. Now, when it comes to readings, we've got lots of options for you. Of course, we've got our 2-minute free reading, and that's for one question only, please. Then, if you'd like to go deeper or longer with your question, feel you need a little bit more insight, then there are the donated readings. You can choose from a 3-minute reading, which is one question only, or we have the mini or the mega. Both the mini and the mega readings are untimed. Mini reading, just one question, but for the mega reading, you can ask a couple of questions on different topics or follow-up questions. Now, when it comes to questions, I will ask you to make them as specific as you can, because we do not do general readings here at My Psychic Connection anymore. The more specific you can be, the quicker I can jump in and tune into your energy and tune into the situation to come out with the answers a little bit more quickly for you. So, sample of a good question. Your question might be, I'm going for a job interview. I would like to know how that interview might pan out for me. Or what can I do to improve my chances at this job interview? As opposed to a general question that says, what does my job future look like? So be very clear. I will not answer general questions. I will skip over them. The other no-go zones that we have here at My Psychic Connection are no questions that are related to anything medical or health. That does include future children, pregnancy, and end-of-life questions. I just will not go there. The other area where we don't touch on here is legal or law-related questions. So that includes questions that involve where you are involved with a lawyer or involved with a legal situation. It could be a custody battle. It could be inheritance. I just won't go there. All of that is best left to the professionals. And in some countries, you're actually not allowed to if you're not qualified in those areas. The other thing I want to say is that everyone goes into a queue. The only reason that your question will get skipped is if you break one of our rules. So I encourage you not to break those rules, particularly if you've been here for a while, you know what they are. So stick to the rules and you'll have more chance of getting your question answered. We have heaps of people from lots of different platforms asking questions. So please don't ask where you are in the queue. Our lovely team out the back are absolutely wonderful at keeping things in order and keeping things moving forward. So I will ask you to be kind, respectful, and patient when it comes to your question. All right. Is everybody set? Is everybody ready for a great show? Because I know I am, as usual, with a kangaroo. I like to hop around. So let's get into our first question, please. Who do we have? And the first question is from our beautiful Gemma. Hello, Gemma. And Gemma asks, can you see me reaching my goal weight? Trying to eat more mindfully and ground myself to get through cravings. Oh, girl, I get it. I'm on the same journey at the moment. And Gemma says it's very hard to have a whole new lifestyle change. Thank you. It is. Well, let's have a look for you, Gemma, about reaching your goal weight and maybe about managing those cravings that we just can't seem to get past sometimes. So let me put out some cards for you. Oh, okay. I'm going to add some coins straight to this tonight. And what have we got? The first card out is I have the Four of Wands. So I feel like the passion is there. You want to do it. The drive is there. I feel, yeah, the cravings do get in the way. But I feel like you've gotten off to a strong start in terms of wanting this. You really want it. It's not one of those things where, oh, I think I should lose a bit of weight. You really want this. You are motivated for it. And I have the butterfly tea coin. And this is saying to me that you really do want to make change. And you are struggling with the different aspects of losing weight. It's not an easy thing to do. The second card I have is the Ace of Coins reversed. And so I feel that as you move forward with this, it's about trying not to get to the end goal now. It's about taking a little bit more slowly, going step by step, dealing with each aspect of it as it comes up, and trying not to focus on it too much. I know that sounds weird when you've got a goal in mind about losing some kilos or pounds as it is in the US. And so I feel that you've got to do it bit by bit. Don't think that you're going to lose 20 kilos in 2 weeks. Look at what your goal per week is, 0.5 kilo or 1 pound. Have smaller goals that you can then build on to get to your larger goal. And it is about you feeling good about yourself. I've got the mermaid tea coin here. And so this is about feeling good about yourself, not just in how you look, but on all. There's a journey ahead for you on this. Give it time, give it time. And that applies to anyone who is struggling around weight issues, wanting to lose weight. It is about understanding that it's not a quick fix. It is about changing lifestyle, as Gemma said, because you're changing how you look at food. You're changing how you eat food. A lot of people are emotional eaters. I eat to reward myself. After a show, I like to go and have a nice big afternoon tea because it's daytime here in Australia, because that's my reward for working hard. So it's about looking at a relationship with food and getting that in balance. So instead of thinking food as something that we want to have as a reward or it comforts us, think about it as something that we feed our body for our nutritional well-being, for our overall well-being. That's the kind of headspace that I've put myself into in terms of my own journey towards losing some kilos. So I hope you found that helpful. And Gemma, thanks for that great question, because that was an example of a really, really good question. All right, let me pop my cards and tea coins away and let's take the next question. Oh, look at this. We've got a kangaroo. And Warren says, I love it. Warren says this one has friends, because we've got a kangaroo, we've got a koala, and we've got, is it a dolphin or a shark? I'm not sure. My eyes are playing up today. Thank you, Warren. That kangaroo is in there. So remember, to win the emoji game, keep putting those kangaroos in for me, please. I would love to see who the winner is going to be later in the show. Let's take our next question, please. Who do we have? And we've got Audrey. Hello, Audrey. Always lovely to see you here. And Audrey says, hey, can you see any progress with me making more money in the next month or two? I quit my old job and now I'm unemployment while I pursue my passion job. But this money struggle right now is hard. Lol. Laugh out loud is the other translation. I say lol. All right, Audrey, let's have a look at this bringing of money in the next couple of months, and maybe what you can do also to help enhance that. So I'm going to look at the rest of October, then I'm going to look at November, and I'm going to look at December. I do feel you've got a hard couple of months coming up for you in terms of earning money or bringing money in. I feel the rest of October is an out and out no. I've got the Six of Wands reversed, and this is usually a card of victory and success. So I feel that the next couple of weeks aren't going to be easy for you. I've got the T coin of the moon. And so this is saying to me that I know that the stress levels are really high for you and it's throwing you emotionally off balance. So in a way, you've got to get back into your head, get out of your heart and get back into your head about looking practically at what you can do to start bringing some money in the meantime. Then when we're looking at November, I've got the Tower card reversed. So I feel November is also going to be slow. I feel in November, money is going to slowly dribble in as opposed to you getting everything that you need moving forward. I also have the T coin of the mermaid. And I do feel like you might have to take on some other temporary work or part-time work or a small project that can pay you some money in the meantime. Because while you're pursuing this other thing, you've got to be able to bring in the income that you need to, get you out of this stressful situation. And then I've got the Devil card reversed for December. I feel that it's about sometimes we have to do things we don't want to do in order to pay the bills. And I feel that December that might be the case. And I would like to bring this forward. I feel this is about you needing to look at what you can do to earn money, to bring in money, as opposed to waiting for money to come to you. Thank you so much for your question. I really do appreciate it. And that's a good example of another very, very specific and clear question. Now, I want to talk about our theme tonight. It's all about crystals. I love crystals. I'm an accredited crystal healer. I love using them. I use them personally. I use them for clients. They're amazing. And I think of them as working allies because for me, I believe there is a spiritual consciousness attached or with crystals. So one of the interesting facts, because I'm all into trivia, one of the interesting facts is, did you know that 85% of our Earth is crystalline? Yes, made up of crystals. Our Earth consists mainly of silicon and oxygen, which are the building blocks of crystals. Now, I'm not a chemist. I'm not very good at that sort of thing, but I find it quite fascinating that oxygen is in there with crystals. And they're the building blocks of all of our crystals. And then other minerals that are found within crystals are what give them their color. For example, we've got amethyst here, and this is normally without the minerals in there, this would be clear quartz, which looks like, where is it? Which looks like this. So the mineral of iron that goes into amethyst creates the purple color, and how much iron is in there determines whether it's a pale purple or a dark purple. Just fascinating, isn't it? All right, I'll talk more about crystals as we go through the show and how you can work with them and how you can cleanse them, things like that. So stay tuned. All right, I think we need to get all crystally about our next question. Who do we have, please? And we have Emma Rose. Hello, beautiful Emma Rose. And Emma says, hi, I hope you are well. I am. Thank you for asking. And she asks, I'd like to know why I'm the black sheep of my family. Keep in mind, my mother and I don't get along that well. We never have. Thank you lots. Well, let's have a look at this family relationship, being the black sheep. You know, being the black sheep isn't always necessarily a bad thing. I'll talk a little bit about that later as well. Okay, so let's ask about the why. I like why questions. All right, so the first why I've got is the Four of Pentacles. And I feel that it's because you're not really understood. I feel that your outlook, your belief systems, the way you like to live your life is not really understood by your family. And if we have a look at this card, here you are doing your thing and the family kind of looking at you going, what? What's she doing? I don't understand. So I feel that there's a lot of misunderstanding around that. And I think the question to ask yourself is, are you really the black sheep of the family? Or is that just how you are feeling because of the way you interact with your family? Because it's always a two-way street. The second one I have is the Four of Cups. And I feel like you've kind of found your own tribe. You're finding people that resonate with your outlook, your belief systems, all of that kind of thing. And it doesn't really fit with what your family traditionally has in terms of their beliefs and outlook. And then I've got the Queen of Swords reversed. And this to me says that, you know, This is the relationship between you and your mum, and it isn't positive. It definitely isn't positive. You're not imagining that. But, you know, there are ways of resolving that both parties have to play in it. Let's add some 2 coins and see what we have for you moving forward. For you, Emma Rose, moving forward, I feel like you've got to look at your life in terms of what you want and what you need. I'm not saying you ditch your family or anything like that, but you still are allowed to. I'm sorry, I wish I could go into more on that for you. But, you know, being the black, what I was going to say before was being the black sheep isn't always necessarily a bad thing, because when you're considered the black sheep in the family, you're seen not to be conforming to what everybody else believes or what everybody else likes. And some of us, when we are going through our lives, are drawn onto different paths. So I always encourage people to remove those kind of labels. Rather than saying I'm the black sheep of the family, just say, well, look, you know, I'm on a bit of a different path, and that's okay. It doesn't mean I have to put my family at arm's distance, and it doesn't mean I have to prove to them why I'm on this path, but it is about communication as well. And so I'm a bit of the black sheep in my family to a certain extent as well. And Emma Rose says, I'll make sure to chip in some money for you next time. Thank you so much, Emma Rose. You are so welcome. So, you know, being the black sheep is a label that we put on ourselves because we don't appear to be conforming. Understand that we're each on our own individual path in life, and it's how we fit together with others and how others fit with us, whether it's family, friends, workmates, that makes it either easier or more challenging. I hope you found that helpful tonight. Let's move on to our next question. Who do we have, please? And we have Love. Hi, Love. Got to send you some love back since your name is Love. And Love asks, what was Jay feeling about some of the information I gave to him? Thank you. Oh, we've got kangaroo there as well. Thank you very much. All right, what was Jay feeling about some of the information? So there's part of the communication that you've had and provided that you're not sure about his feelings around. Let's have a look. Well, I agree with you. I feel like there are some parts of the information that you had or gave out that it hasn't sat terribly well with him. I feel like I've got the 4 of coins reversed. And so I feel like there's some of the information that he actually hasn't taken on board. He's going, no, that's not me. That doesn't resonate with me. That doesn't fit with me. The other card I have is the 10 of Swords reversed. And I kind of feel that some of the information that he received, he has seen a little bit like barbs, you know, like aiming an arrow, and he's rejecting that. He's saying, no, that's not true for me. And we've got to understand that when we're looking at people in communication, that truth is in the eye of the beholder. We all have our different perceptions of truth. And so he's not accepting some of that information. But the good news is I've got the 10 of Cups upright. You'll both get past it. And sometimes it's okay to agree to disagree and have different points of view about a piece of information, about a communication that you might have with someone. Even if we feel we're in the right, it's about respecting the other person's point of view as well. And Love says, yes, it was spiritual things. Yeah. And we do have different outlooks when it comes to our spirituality. But I feel that you'll get past this and get through it. And the ultimate feeling is agree to disagree. Don't let it interfere with your relationship. We don't have to have the same spiritual outlook to be in a positive connection with someone. But it is about tolerance of each other's views and tolerance of and respect for each other's views as well. So I feel continuing to talk about it in a more light-hearted way, not trying to impose, not saying this is the right way. I feel you'll get through this and it'll be fine in the long run. With tolerance and respect of each other. And that applies to everyone. You know, with all the things that are happening in the world, all the negative things, some horrific things that are happening in the world at the moment, a lot of it I personally think comes from lack of tolerance, lack of respect for other people's beliefs and points of view, and not allowing that to happen. You know, my way is the right way, and if you don't do it my way, well, I'm going to bop you on the head. That doesn't resolve anything. And I feel that whether it's about our spiritual beliefs, whether it's about our morals, our ethics, about anything, it's about having respect for other people's beliefs and thoughts on it, even if we don't agree with them. Doesn't mean we have to enable them, but it doesn't mean we need to go to war over it either. So thank you for that great question. I really appreciate it. Okay, I want to talk. Oh, and Audrey says, just heard. Thank you. Audrey, my sweet, you are so welcome. I hope it was of help. And of course, it's all things crystal, so it's time for Crystal Connection. Now, before the show, I chose a crystal. I've got it hidden in my hands right now, and I'm going to send you the name of that crystal. So I want you to type in the crystal that you think I have chosen tonight, and the winner will receive a special divination reading from me, and it will be a general one. It's the only time I do general readings. So start typing in which crystal you think I have chosen. The clock starts now. We're going to go through about 2 minutes. And let's talk a little bit more about crystals. Now, of course, crystals are formed deep in the earth. They're formed through pressure, through compression and intense heat. And then when they cool down, they form into distinct shapes. Now, some crystals cool down very quickly, like obsidian. Obsidian cools very, very quickly. And so it looks like, I've got one over here. It looks like this. It's sort of mirror-like, it's soft, whereas things like clear quartz cool down a lot more slowly and so have very specific structure. So when we're looking at crystals, we can look at things like that when we're choosing them. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk about with crystals, are you typing in? I want to see that winner come up, and I'll give you a little hint. This is a crystal that can help with abundance. So see if that gives you a little bit of a hint to help you. Now, the other thing about crystals is that crystals are made up of energy. We're all made up of energy. That's why I have the name Innerji, because I'm so much about energy and vibration. And we use the energy within the crystals, the vibration, the frequency within the crystals, and that's what we use to tune in. That's what we can use with the crystals in terms of healing on an energetic level. We can use it to tune in our vibration when we want to connect spiritually, that kind of thing as well. And of course, crystals are used in the everyday world, because some people think I'm a little bit woo-woo because I love crystals and I love working with them in terms of healing and well-being and spirituality. But we actually use crystals every day in our world. For example, we talk about our quartz watch. It's small, tiny pieces of quartz that are prepared. They're engineered in some fashion because quartz holds memory. Quartz also, when it's compressed, let me get my quartz crystal. When it's compressed, my quartz crystal releases energy, and it releases lots of like electrical energy. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to shock us and give us an electric shock, but this is what's called the piezoelectric effect. Compression releases energy within the crystal, and that's what happens in our watches to keep them ticking. Did you know that ruby crystals are used in laser technology for healing? That's in mainstream medicine. So, you know, when people say to me, oh, you're a bit out there for believing in crystals, but they are used in our everyday world. And then, of course, in energy healing, we can use our intention combined with the crystal to improve our well-being in mind, body, and spirit. So how are we going? Have we got any winners yet? Not yet? All right, well, I'm going to talk a little bit more about my crystals because I'm it's a bit like tarot decks and tea. We don't have a winner tonight. The winning crystal was pyrite. Pyrite is great for abundance. It equates to sun energy. So it's a warm crystal. It's a energy-giving crystal. It lifts your energy levels up as well as bringing in abundance. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do a general reading for the collective, my one and only time. I'm going to run a competition, and I am going to use a combination of my crystal cards and literally some crystal. So let me shuffle the deck and see what the message is. Here we go. Oh, yes. Wow. Okay, so I've got the crystal malachite. Malachite is a beautiful healing crystal. It's energizing, it's about balance, but it's also about the will. It's a very strong energy, the crystal malachite, and it's about having the will to do something. So, for example, malachite would be helpful if, we talked about cravings with weight loss, having a malachite and setting an intention that I have the will to avoid unnecessary unhealthy cravings. That might be one way to use it. But this is about your will. And so for you, as a general thing, what is it that you want to will into your life? What are you willing to focus on? Where are you willing to put your energy? The other card I have is azurite. Now, azurite is a dark blue stone. It's a beautiful stone. And this is about insight. So this is about looking at insights, what's within you, getting those deep insights, this inner knowing about how you can proactively use your will to achieve something, to set a goal, to move forward. And then the crystal I have is aventurine. Now, aventurine is about growth. So the message is coming through into a story now where we're saying you need to look at your insights, look at insight into what it is that you want to will into your life. And then aventurine is about how will you grow it? How will you develop it? And how will you bring that healing energy towards it as well? So I do hope you found that helpful, a different way of reading. I haven't done that one before for you. And thank you so much for playing the game. Hopefully we'll have a winner next week. I will make it a little bit easier next week because I do choose difficult crystals sometimes just to challenge you. All right, let's move on to our next question, please. Who do we have? Oh, and Love says, thank you, Innerji. You are very welcome, love. You're so welcome. And don't forget, keep those emojis of kangaroos coming in because we've got that competition still on. And Warren said, Warren's put up some emojis. We've got a crystal ball, looks like a moon. We've got a kangaroo and a star. And Warren asks, is this you, Innerji? I think you've got me worked out, Warren. I do. I think you've got me worked out. Thank you for that. All right, let's take our next question, please. Who do we have? We have Melee. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. And Melee asks, will I get to go to the wedding with my person D this month? If not, will we eventually get to do something together? All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is have a card to see if you will go to the wedding with D or not. Let's start with that. And I'm actually going to do two cards because I want to blend these. I've got the Nine of Wands reversed and I've got the Two of Cups upright. I do feel that Dee will go with you to this wedding because this Nine of Wands is sort of like not having to be on guard anymore. I feel that Dee's been a bit holding back, a little bit of a barrier. And I feel that for this, it seems like a safe way for them to have a social occasion with you. And with the Two of Cups, then we're seeing you looking at each other. It's like you're on the same page. So I feel that that will be a yes for you around going to the wedding together. I feel it's almost like a first step. So, don't read too much into it. Take it for what it is. I'm going to do a T-card for you as well. And I've got the bird. So it's all about communication. I seem to be the queen of communication these days. But the bird is all about talking, keeping it lighthearted. So when you go to the wedding with Dee, or when you get into any social occasion where you're going somewhere with Dee, keep it lighthearted, keep it fun. Don't go too deep too soon. Well, that was a quick and easy one to answer. I do hope you found that to be of help. And thank you so much for asking the question. Again, another example of a really, really good question. Gosh, going to weddings, they can be nightmares, can't they? I know that sounds crazy because weddings are gentle, happy, fun, celebrating occasions. But when you get sort of two families like, in Romeo and Juliet with two different sides, it can be quite tense at weddings sometimes. So when I go to a wedding, which isn't very often because most of my friends are already married, but when I go to a wedding, I try and make sure I stay nice and lighthearted and neutral just in case. All right, let's move on to our next question, please. Who do we have? And Mina asks, hi, will I be moving into a new home anytime soon? Thank you. And I am new here. Well, Mina, welcome. Welcome to the My Psychic Connection family. And thank you for such a good question. Will you be moving into a new home anytime soon? So I always like to go month by month with questions like that. So I'm going to look at November, December, and I'm going to go January. I feel that November, we've got the Lovers card. So this is saying to me that I feel November is the month where you're getting ready. It's coming into play. Sometimes we have to wait for the energies to be balanced, and that's what this card is about, because we're not asking about a love romance here. And so I feel like the energy in November is going to start to balance out for you to start working towards that happening, but I don't actually see you moving in November. Then December, I've got the Hanged Man. And I feel that for you, one of the things you need to consider is having a different outlook on what a new home means for you, because this is all about seeing things from a different perspective. Ever hung upside down as a kid and looked at the world and gone, wow? That's the kind of attitude you need to have around finding a new home. And I feel that it's going to take longer than December. I feel we're going to come into early next year. I've got the Death card there. Now, don't let that card scare you. Everybody freaks out when they see the Death card. This is about change and transformation. So I feel it's more moving into January that a new home will come into play for you. Let me do a quick coin. What have we got? We've got the monkey. And so the monkey to me is all about monkey business, playing around, trickery. So I feel that for you, it's about going a little bit more slowly to avoid any nonsense that might be associated with this house move, so that you can be clear about what you want and be clear also about what you need to do to ensure it. Thank you so much for your question. And once again, welcome to My Psychic Connection. You're a part of our family already. Now, speaking of connections, I wanted to let you know I'm a Reiki healer, have been for many years. And if you would like to receive some Reiki healing, distance Reiki healing, then please, please, please put some blue hearts into the chat or into the comments. And when you put the blue hearts in there, I will add you into my Reiki distance healing list and send you some healing, because Reiki is a wonderful, wonderful healing modality. It doesn't physically have to be hands-on for it to work. It can work through distance because we're working with energy, and energy, just like radio waves, travel through distance, travel through time. So I would be most honored to have you as part of my Reiki healing list if you feel that you need some assistance. So pop those blue hearts in, okay? All right, let's move on to our next question, please. Who do we have? And we have Warren. Hi, Warren. Good to see you back again. Thanks for all those emojis. Warren asks, will I be alone this Halloween, or will anyone be able to make some time to spend with me? Well, let's have a look at this for you, because it's not that far away, is it? Yeah, what, 10 days, 12 days, something like that? Will you be, how likely is it that you will be spending Halloween alone? Let's have a look. Oh, Warren, I'm sorry to say, but I feel that we've got the Wheel of Fortune reversed. I've got the Two of Pentacles upside down. Whoops. And I've also got the Queen of Swords upright. I feel unless you are prepared to do something about it, unless you are prepared to try and organize something, invite somebody over, go out with a group of people to celebrate Halloween, whatever it is that you do, I feel if you don't put the effort in and don't sit back and wait for someone to ask you, I feel, yes, you will be spending Halloween alone. But remember, when we're looking at the future, it is fluid. We're looking at potential and probability. So knowing that you have the potential that probably you will be on your own for Halloween, what can you do in the here and now to change your attitude, outlook, decisions, and actions to have that different outcome? Because in some ways, this is a free will decision. So put in the effort. Check with people around you. You know, do you want to come over and celebrate Halloween? Do you want to go out and celebrate Halloween with me? And you be the one that initiates rather than passively sitting back and waiting for someone to come to you. And Warren says, I'll have to try to reach out to some people who might be free then. Thank you, Innerji. I hope some of them will be able to make it if I do. Yeah, that's the way to do it. Put yourself out there. If you don't ask, you don't get. That's the key thing there. Thank you so much for your question. And I want to wish you a little happy Halloween ahead of time. Okay, I want to talk a little bit more about crystals. How to choose a crystal. There are a number of ways that you can choose a crystal. You can go by eyesight. You can go, oh, I like the look of that one. I like the look of that pyrite. I think I will have that one. You can be drawn to the color. You can be drawn to the shape. You can be drawn to the feel, how it feels in your hand. Other ways you can choose crystals are by actually researching them, looking at why is it that you want a crystal? Do you want to buy a crystal for a specific purpose? Then have a look in some of the crystal books. There are an amazing choice out there to see what some of the crystals might mean, and that might help you make a decision. Another way that you can do it is to use a pendulum. And what you do with the pendulum is that you can ask, you can hold the pendulum up, and you can ask, which crystal is best for me? Is it amethyst? Or you can hold a pendulum. I don't know if they let you do this in a lot of shops. They let me do it in my shop. But you can hold a pendulum over a crystal and see if you get a yes or no answer for that crystal. It takes a bit longer, but it can be worth doing if you use a pendulum. The other thing you can do is just hold it. Just hold it and see how you feel about it. Close your eyes and tune in. And of course, the other way is you might just intuitively go, that one, I want that one. So there are quite a number of ways you can go about choosing a crystal. Do hope you found that helpful, coming from the crystal cave here at My Psychic Connection. Okay, let's move on to the next question, please. Who do we have? And we have, oh, we've already had that question. If we could go on to the next one, please, that would be fantastic. Thank you. And we have Anne here. And Anne says, hi, Innerji. My meeting with my love interest man has been delayed 3 times. Oh, that would be so annoying. And her question is, when do you see that I will be seeing him again? And will there be romantic progress for us? Okay, let's have a look through my love deck. Here we go. Here we go. So we'll answer this question and then we'll move on to Mystic Moment because that's coming up soon. Here we go. Let's see, Anne. Okay. I do see the connection happening for you. I do see the meeting happening that's been delayed 3 times. The reason I'm saying that is I've got the 6 of Wands. This is the success card, the victory card against all odds. Have a look at this wonderful person. He's in a wheelchair. He's won his basketball game. So I see it will happen for you. It's just that the delays actually haven't been about them avoiding you. They've been real delays. They've been real things that have gotten in the way. Moving forward, I feel, yes, there is potential for a romantic connection here. I've got the 6 of Pentacles. And can you see that they're giving to each other? They're looking to each other's eyes. They're learning about each other, this give and take. So I do feel that there can be progress on the romantic front. I feel what you've got to be careful of with this 5 of Wands, I feel like you've got to be careful about not diving in too quickly or too soon. Because with this 5 of Wands, it's almost like it won't last long if you try and make it more than it is. And if you try and push it forward too quickly into a commitment or into something that is long lasting, you need to allow it to grow and take it step by step. Because if you jump in and try and force commitment, try and force the love, try and force the relationship, it's not going to last. So there's a little warning there to go in easy, to go in slow and steady. Take it for what it is and I hope you found that to be of help, and thank you for your question. I have to say the questions are really great tonight, so thank you so much for that. I really, really appreciate it. And I'll just pop these cards away, get them out of the road, and I just wanted to let you know that we've got some great shows coming up here. I just want to remind you that after my show tonight at midnight, we have got the Shadows of Dreams with our own Journey Ryan and Psychic Kay. Now, this is one of our newer shows, and it is amazing looking into dream interpretation, looking into when we dream, how we dream, why we dream, so much. So keep an eye out for that tonight at midnight Eastern Standard Time, and that's 3 p.m. here, Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. And Anne said, thank you, Innerji. And you are so, so very, very welcome. Okay, let's move on to our next question, please. Who do we have? And we have Arisha. Okay, Arisha asks, will Hassan text me again soon? How soon will it be? Well, let's have a look about Hassan and texting you. Let's have a look. Let's put some cards out. Okay. I've got the moon reversed. I've got the world upright. And I've got the 8 of swords. I just checked my numbers. Yep, 8 of swords reversed. So I feel that there is opportunity for texting to happen. I do feel that there's something going on at Hassan's end that is making it a little bit delayed. I feel the texting or sending you a message will be a little bit delayed. With that world card, he wants to, but there is something with these swords that is getting in the way at the moment, but he will text you. Now, in terms of timing, let's have a look at that. Let's see what we've got. Okay, what I'm seeing here is I've got the Hanged Man upright, I've got the Page reversed, and I've got the Justice card. So in terms of timing, when I look at these cards, I am getting a feeling of like 3 weeks. That was the number that was put into my head. I feel it's going to be about 3 weeks because he's got to sort out this other stuff first. He's got to make sure that some other things going in his life that are taking priority need to be sorted out first. Let's do a T coin as well and see what we've got. Yeah, there's a tornado here. So there's a lot going on for Hassan at the moment. So please be patient. He will text you. He will get back to you. And just allow him the space that he needs to do what he needs to do. Thank you so much for your question. I do appreciate it. Another great question. Thank you so much. And it's time for Mystic Moment. Now, as you know, I'm all about mysticism. I'm all about exploring metaphysics. And that's why I introduced the Mystic Moment, to delve into different aspects of metaphysics and the mystic. And so because my theme tonight is all about crystals, I thought I would actually do a crystal divination for you. And I'm going to use a different crystal deck this time because being Sagittarius, I like variety. And so I'm going to use this deck. So let's do a nice reading for you. I say a nice reading, but who knows what will come out in the cards. I'm always optimistic though, always optimistic. So let's take out some cards. So the first card I have is Black Tourmaline, and this is about protection. So I want you to look at your life right now and see where perhaps you are allowing yourself to be a little too vulnerable, and look at your life and see where maybe you are being overly protective, not just of yourself, but of others. This is also about grounding as well. In order to stand up strong and true, we need to be grounded in the earth. In order to protect ourselves or protect others, we need to be grounded in the earth. We need to be aware of what's going on around us. So that's the first card. Black Tourmaline, where do you need to protect yourself, or where do you maybe need to be a little more vulnerable? The next card I have is Zircon. And so I feel that for you, around this need for protection or being more open to vulnerability is because there are some life changes that are coming your way. Zircon is about life changes. What new things are happening in your life? What things are leaving your life that needs protection or needs you to be open and more vulnerable? Then I've got Tiger's Eye. And something was said to me the other week, and I took it on board because I'm a bit of a put up the barrier kind of person, and it was about being vulnerable. And there is strength in vulnerability, and I have the Tiger's Eye here, and this is about your personal power. There is strength in being vulnerable, and I encourage you to take it on board the way I have, because I have found that to be most helpful. And finally, these changes that are coming into your life, it's about being confident about what you want these changes to look like, what it is that you want to manifest coming up for you. So look at the protection, look at where you need to be vulnerable. Look at the life changes that you're going through or you want to make. How do you do it? By standing in your own personal power, and also by being confident about what it is that you want to manifest. So that's tonight's Mystic Moment. I hope you have found that to be helpful as well. I hope you're enjoying all of our crystalness tonight. Yes, I've made up 2 words, crystalness tonight from the Crystal Cave here at My Psychic Connection. Now, don't forget the emoji game will be finishing soon. So let's make sure you are plugging in those kangaroos so that you can win a divination reading from me. Okay. Oh, we've got a winner. There we go. We've come around to the winning person very quickly. Where has the night gone? And it's E. Brown. Congratulations, E. Brown. You have won the emoji contest. Now, I've got 10,000 decks here. I feel a bit like Cassidy the card slinger tonight because I've got all these 10,000 decks here, and I'm just choosing which one I will use for you. I'm going to use the Tarot of the Abyss. This is a beautiful black and white deck with amazing artwork. So, E. Brown, let's see what your message is. Just shuffling the deck, and let's put out some cards. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yes, I'm just teasing you, but no, these are really good. Oh, and listen, we have to, even though E. Brown's won the competition, we've got to give an honourable mention to Warren F for being so creative with his emojis. That was fun. It was, Warren. Thank you so much for participating. And yes, honourable mentions are really important, I think. We need to do more of those. All right, so for E. Brown, for your reading, the first card I have, and E. Brown says, thank you. You're so welcome. I've got the High Priestess. So this is saying to me that you're coming into a time where you need to trust your own inner wisdom, trust what you know, because the High Priestess is about inner wisdom. It is also about psychic abilities and spiritual communication, but at its heart, it's about learning to trust the wisdom that either comes to you or the wisdom that comes from you. And I've got the 7 of Cups here, and I feel that you're having a bit of difficulty making a decision about something because you almost have too many choices. Have you ever come across that? When you've got so many choices, do I buy the green jumper, the blue one, the white one, the brown one, the yellow one, the rainbow one? And you get so confused about what color you want, you don't buy any. So I feel that that's kind of happening for you at the moment. So it's about using your wisdom and your intuition to help you make the decision, to help you make the choice. I also have the 9 of Cups reversed, and I feel this choice is around something that you're not getting. It's around something that you want but you haven't yet received, and you've been feeling a bit low and a bit down about it. And E. Brown says yes. So it is about you taking charge and looking at what you want to manifest, using that inner wisdom to make the choice. And E. Brown says, yes, too many, I can't decide. Oh, I know what that's like. Believe me, I love choices up to a point. So it is about you looking at what you truly want from that inner wisdom so that you can make that choice. And then the other card I have for you is the King of Pentacles reversed. So when you're making this choice, don't think of it as an all or nothing. Think of this choice as a starting point. I feel it's a starting point for you to take a particular direction. Look, congratulations on being our emoji winner tonight, E. Brown. I hope you found that to be of help. And I do hope everybody liked the Tarot of the Abyss. It's a deck that I actually haven't used here at My Psychic Connection before, and I think I'll be using it a little bit more often. Okay, that's the emoji game done. That means we're more than halfway through the show. Where is it gone? All right. And Journey Ryan says, Energy, my friend, thanks for the show shout outs. You are so welcome. It is one of the most interesting shows. I know I personally got some help with a dream by watching and participating in the show as well. So don't forget, midnight tonight. All right, let's move on to our next question. And E. Brown says, thank you. E. Brown, you're welcome. Thank you. All right, let's take our next question, please. Who do we have? And E. Brown asks, any messages from my guides for love in the year end? E. Brown, that is moving into a little bit of mediumship because I'm actually then having to connect with spirit guides. And it's also a little bit of a general question. So please, I'm going to ask you if you could be a little bit more specific. Is it a relationship that you're in that you want to improve upon, you want to move forward with, or are you looking to meet someone? What is it about this love relationship by the end of the year that you're wanting to know? If you can pop that in the chat, I would happily come back to your question. But let's move on to the next question, please. Who do we have? Karen Bullitt asks, will I find the money I need? And I like that you've said need as opposed to want. Wants and needs are very different. We all kind of want more money to do some of the fun stuff. But what is it about needing money to fulfill something that we need to do, need to have? All right, let's have a little look. Okay. I feel at the moment, I feel that burdens are going to start to release around finances for you. I've got the 9 of Wands reversed. When it's upright, this is a card where he's worn out. He's been trying everything he can and he's worn out and he feels he can't try anymore. So the fact that this card is reversed is saying to me that there's still a bit of oomph left in you to make some effort around it. And I feel that with your effort, things will start to change because I have the 4 of Wands. So I do feel that finances will start to improve for you. But I feel that you've got to be out and about in order to do it. You know, we get into this situation where we want something or we need something, but we're not taking action on it yet because we're so busy thinking about it and we forget to actually take the action. Take the action and it will start to change in your favor. I feel that this is a burden that you've had for quite some time. And I feel that, you know, following on from what I said before, I feel that it's going round and round inside your head and it's making it hard for you to think clearly. And so all you're focusing on what you don't have as opposed to what you do have. And then with the final card, it's about, as I said before, it's about you putting in the effort. I have the 7 of Pentacles reversed. The work isn't done yet around it. I do see it starting to change for you, but you actually need to put in more effort than you're doing. And I know you've been tired and I know it's hard and I know that you feel like I don't know what else to do, but it's about keeping pushing forward, looking at how you can go about it. I've also got the bat, and the bat is about focus. You've got the smarts to be. So be focused, but stay positively focused, not what you don't have, what you do have, and what can you bring in. You know, when we have financial issues, regardless of what they are, whether it's, you know, paying the next bill, the stress levels go through the roof, don't they? You know, we have to rely on money. It's the way our society is set up. And so the stress levels can go through the roof. And when we get to that level of stress, it can be hard to think clearly about what can we do to improve things. What solutions can we find? What solutions can we create? So one of the things I always suggest to people, and I know it's not easy, believe me, but it is trying to just calm down. It's sort of like slow the breath down, bring the heart rate down, and get into that more calm state where you can think more clearly about the options, about how you can move forward around any difficult financial situation, what help might be out there that you can get, or what you can do yourself. I do hope you found that to be helpful, and thank you so much for your question. Crystals, 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 crystals. There are heaps of ways you can cleanse your crystals before you use them. One of my favorite ways is using a singing bowl, because we're clearing vibration, we're clearing energy. So a singing bowl with my intention of wanting to clear, here's a singing bowl, and I'm going to cleanse this amethyst Merkaba. I'm going to pop it in the bowl. Now, when you hold it, you hold your hand flat. If you hold it, it won't vibrate. And then I get my little stick and I gong it and I go around. And as I'm going around, I'm setting the tension that this crystal is being cleared of all negative energies and impurities so that I may use it as a clear and positive tool for whatever my purpose is. So a very simple way of cleansing crystals. Another way you can do it is to bury your crystals in the earth, in soil. If you're in an apartment and you don't have a garden, you can pop your crystals into the soil of a pot plant. That works. Leave it there for 24 hours. Or the other way is you can use brown rice. Bury the crystal in a bowl of brown rice. Just don't use the brown rice for food afterwards, because it's absorbing the vibration. It's absorbing the energy that you want released from the crystal. Another way you can do it is to use smoke. And I use sage. You can see I've well and truly used this one. And the other one I use, because I'm Scottish, I like to use juniper. And so these herbs are known for their clearing, cleansing energies. So I just light it. I'm not going to do it now because I might create a fire. I just light the crystal, light the bundle, blow it out so that it's got glowing. As the smoke is released, I waft the crystal within the smoke, And again, I use my intention to clear the crystal of negative energies. So there are a couple of ways that you can cleanse crystals. I encourage you to try it. All right, let's move on to our next question. Who do we have, please? And we have Shimanta. Am I pronouncing your name correctly? I do hope so. Shimanta asks, trying to move abroad, especially to the US for career and to settle there. What do you see about this path decision overall? Also appreciate your guidance. Well, let's have a look at how this move, I'm going to focus on the US because you've specifically mentioned that. So let's have a look at how moving to the US and living there might look for you. And I'm going to look at your first 12 months of being there. So I'm going to do a card for when you first move there, when you're there 6 months, and when you've been there 12 months. So I've got the King in terms of when you first get there. The King of Cups reversed is saying that this is a big emotional change for you. Things are going to feel, you're going to feel out of your comfort zone. You're going to do the whole buyer's remorse thing to make the right decision. But there's also a level of it. Oh, thank you for letting me know that I pronounced your name correctly. I always like to try and get that right. So when you first move to the US, if you decide to take this up, it's going to be an emotional challenge for you, an emotional change. Emotions are going to be all over the place. There's going to be excitement. There's going to be fear. So I feel initially it's a lot of energy is going to be expended when you first get there. Now, as you are there over the first 6 months, I've got the Knight of Wands. And this is saying to me that you will move forward. This is about taking action. This is about moving forward. Wands are about action, about desire, about willpower. And I kind of feel that you'll take the bull by the horns and in that first 6 months, really make your way in your new life there. When I get to the 12-month point, between 6 and 12 months, I see you settling down. I feel that you're more settled. I feel these initial emotions of, what's happening? What have I done? Will be more settled because I've got the Four of Cups here. And I feel like you'll kind of sit back and be more laid back about your new lifestyle. So overall, I think it's looking quite positive for you. And Shimanta says, yes, emotional challenge, lots of energy. Yeah. And the key thing is about being well and truly prepared and really looking at why you want to move there and why you want to settle there. Let's quickly do a viewpoint as well for a little bit of extra information. And I've got the tornado. Yeah, you're going to feel like it's a tornado. You actually first make this move. I wish you well with it. I hope your dream comes true. And thank you so much for your question. Oh gosh, we are up to the last question. Where has the time gone? I swear to you, time speeds up when we hear it, My Psychic Connection. Let's take our last question, please. Who do we have? And Miss Squirrel. Hi, Squirrel. Squirrel says, hi, Energy. Having inner conflict. Am I being realistic with my boundaries or am I being overbearing? I really want to stand my ground, but is it overboard? Oh gosh, what a great question, Squirrel, because yeah, having to know where the balance point for our boundaries is really hard. So let's ask if, I'm going to look at, are you being too strict and too rigid around your boundaries? Let's have a look at that. And no, I don't think you are. You know, you've got a generous heart, you're a generous soul. You have a tendency to put others before yourself. And so you feel when you set boundaries that you're kind of being mean to people. Well, you're not. I've got the Two of Cups. And so I feel that they are in balance. It's just that you're uncomfortable with them because you're not used to doing them. And I feel that others, they might be not saying it, but I kind of get the feeling that they kind of understand that you do need to have your own boundaries. I do feel that for some people in your family, the need for you is so strong that they can't see the boundaries that you need and that you need to put in place. And you're feeling a little bit guilty about that. The other card I have is the Five of Wands. And I think one of the reasons that you're having difficulty with boundaries and about being realistic about them is that things are really chaotic at the moment for you. With that Five of Wands, the wands are all over the place. There's lots of competition for your time at the moment. And I feel that for you, having those boundaries in place will help with that so much. And then we've got the Six of Cups here. So I want you to, and Squirrel says, oh my God, yes, so true. Yeah, I want you to come back to your heart. Know that it is okay for you to have boundaries for yourself. You're not being mean. You're not being nasty. And in fact, when it comes to what you need to do for your family and for others in general, not just your family, because you give and give and give to everybody, what you will realize, if you can put that in perspective, that it's okay to have these boundaries and you're not being, that you'll come back to being your playful self, because you have a beautiful childlike playfulness about you. Thank you so much for your question. I do hope that's been of help. And here we are at the end of the show. Now, of course, as I mentioned before, I just want to remind you that we have the Shadow of Dreams with Journey Ryan and Psychic K happening at midnight tonight. And we've got a great lineup tomorrow here at My Psychic Connection as well. We've got 6 p.m. Eastern Standard, 9 a.m. Aussie time. We've got Down the Rabbit Hole with our own beautiful pink bunny sugars at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard, 1 p.m. Aussie time. We've got Whispers from the Forest with our own squirrel. And then at midnight, which is 3 p.m. Aussie time, we've got the astrology breakdown with our own Astro Squirrel this time and Journey Ryan. I do hope you've enjoyed being here with me. I've loved being here with you. I wish you many blessings for the week to come. Take care, and I'll see you next week.